Hello everyone. In this video we are going to learn the English workshop and all question and answers of 2.5 The Happy Prince. Okay, standard 8. Before that I request you to like, share and subscribe my channel and get the notification of new upcoming videos related to your syllabus. So students, one notice for you, warming up activity is not given in this video. So the warming up activity is in other video. I will provide the link of that video in the comment box. You can watch there the video in which the warming up activity is also there. Thank you. So let's start marginal question and answers 2.5 The Happy Prince. 1. Why did people admire the statue? Answer. The statue of the Happy Prince stood high above the city. It was covered with gold. Its eyes were bright blue jewels, and red jewel hung from its waist. Everyone thought that it was a very beautiful and admired it. Second, what were the drops that fell on the shallow? Answer. The drops that fell on the shallow were the tears from the eyes of the Happy Prince. Third, when did the Happy Prince realize about his suffering people? Answer. After the death, the Happy Prince was made into a statue and stood high above the city. He could then see all the unhappiness of his city. That was the time he realized about the suffering of his people. 4. What was the first gift from the Happy Prince? Answer. The first gift from the Happy Prince was a great red jewel from his waist. Next. 5. Why was the mother forced to ignore her ailing son? Answer. The mother was forced to ignore her ailing son as she did not have money to buy food and could only give him water from a river. She was busy making a dress for one of the queen's ladies. After doing this, she was so tired that she fell asleep. 6. Why had the shallow felt warm? Answer. The shallow felt warm because he had done a great thing. 7. What surprised the clever man? Answer. The clever man was surprised to see a shallow in the city in winter. 8. Why was the writer unable to complete his story? Answer. The writer was very cold, weak and hungry. There was no fire in his room. Due to all these reasons, he was unable to complete his story. 9. What did the writer conclude when he saw a blue jewel? Answer. When the writer saw the blue jewel, he concluded that it was a gift from someone who had read and liked his books. Next, number 10. Why did the shallow wish to go Egypt? Answer. It was winter and it could soon begin snowing. The shallow would not be able to bear this weather, so he wished to go to Egypt where the sun was warm and the leaves were green. 11. Why did the shallow refuse to take off the other eye? Answer. The shallow refused to take off the other eye because then the prince would not be able to see. 12. What suffering did the shallow discover and report to the happy prince? Answer. The shallow saw the poor people sitting at the gate. He flew into the dark streets where he saw hungry and sad children. Many children were cold and were treated badly by the guards in the city. These were the sufferings that Shallow discovered and reported to the prince. Next, 13th. In what state did the important man in the city find the statue? Answer. The important man in the city found the statue looking dull. The red stone and the gemstones of the eye had disappeared. The statue was not golden any longer and looked like a beggar. There was also a dead shallow at the feet of the statue. 14th. What do you think was the part of the statue which did not melt? Answer. The part of the statue which did not melt was the heart of the happy prince. 15th. Why did the servants of God take the broken heart and the dead bird to God? Answer. The servants of God took the broken heart and a dead bird to God because they were the two best things in the city. Next. Now let's start English workshop. Number 1. Say whether these sentences are true or false and correct the false ones. A. The writer of the story is William Black. Answer. False. Corrected sentence. The writer of this story is Oscar Wilde. B. Everyone admired the statue of the Happy Prince. Answer. True. C. The mother was working when the Shallow brought a yellow jewel. Answer. False. Corrected sentence. The mother was sleeping when the Shallow brought a great red jewel. Number D. The two best things the servants brought to God were gold and jewel stones. Answer. False. Corrected sentence. The two best things the servants brought to God were the broken heart and the dead bird. Next. Number 2. Find from the story the homophones of the following words. Homophones. There is a definition of homophones is given there for your best understanding. Homophones are the words that sound the same but differ in spelling and meaning. तो homophones किसे कहा जाता है? Homophones मतलब ऐसे words होते हैं जिनका sound या pronunciation सेम होता है लेकिन उनकी spelling और उनका meaning अलग होता है. तो ऐसे words जिनका sound सेम हो और लेकिन spelling और meaning अलग हो, ऐसे words को homophones कहा जाता है. Some words are given there. One, weak, weak, there, there, blue, blue, see, see, red, red, west, west, no, no, not, not, throw, throw, right, right. Number 3, answer the given questions in your own words. A. Where was the Happy Prince statue located? Answer. The Happy Prince statue was located high above the city. B. Why did the Shallow decided to stay under the statue of the Happy Prince at night? Answer. The Shallow decided to stay under the statue of Happy Prince at night because it was high up and so there was a plenty of air. Okay. The Shallow decided to stay under the statue of Happy Prince at night because it was high up and so there was plenty of fresh air. Number C. Why was the prince sad? The prince was sad to see all the unhappiness of the city. Next. D. What was the first task given to the Shallow? Answer. The Happy Prince asked the Shallow to take the great red jewel from his vest and give it to a poor woman whose son was ill and hungry. This was the Shallow's first task. E. To whom did the prince gift the two gemstones of his eyes? Answer. The Happy Prince gifted the two gemstones of his eyes to a poor writer and a little girl whose eggs had fallen on the ground and broken. F. What decision did the Shallow finally make? Was it a wise one? Comment. Answer. The Shallow finally decided not to go to Egypt but to remain with the Happy Prince, whom he loved very much. It may not have been a wise decision because it led to the death of the Shallow, but It was a decision made from the heart and was an emotional which was rewarded in heaven. G. Why did the Shallow finally decide not to leave the prince? Answer. The Shallow finally decided not to leave the happy prince because he loved him so much. H. What message do you get from the story? The message answer, the message that we get from this story, that we should be loyal, generous and compassionate. We will not only get peace when on the earth, but will also get appreciation and reward in heaven. Next, in number fourth activity, infinitive, participle and gerund. This is a grammar part. Okay, so infinitives, participles and gerunds are formed from verbs but are never used alone as action words in sentence. Instead, these verbals function as noun, adjective or adverb. Okay, तो infinitive, participle और gerunds क्या है, ये verb से बनाए हुए अलग फॉर्म्स होते हैं जो कभी नाउन का काम करते हैं, कभी एडजेक्टिव का काम करते हैं या कभी एडवर्ब्स का काम करते हैं, लेकिन ये पूरे वर्ब से बनाए वाले वर्ड्स होते हैं. ओके, so first in infinitives definition is given there. An infinitive is a verbal noun that function as a noun, adjective or adverb and is formed by adding to plus a verb. A verb, it means first form of main verb in its simple form. तो इसमें इन्फिनेटिव में आप क्या याद रखोगे? इन्फिनेटिव एक ऐसा वर्बल नाउन होता है, एडजेक्टिव या एडवर्ब होता है जो वर्ब से बनाने वाला होता है और हमेशा इन्फिनेटिव जो होता है वो टू प्लस वर्ब इस फॉर्म में आता है, मतलब TO2 और उसके बाद फर्स्ट फॉर्म ऑफ मेन वर्ब. ऐसे सेंटेंस में जहां पे भी आएगा तो आप उसे इन्फिनेटिव कह सकते हैं. एग्जाम्पल इज गिवन देयर. आई हैव टू स्टडी. टू स्टडी, दिस phrase is an infinitive because to is came with the first form of main verb, that is study. Okay, to जो है study के साथ आया, study ये main verb है, action word है, और जब to और action word या main verb साथ में आता है तो उसे infinitive कहा जाता है या to infinitive कहा जाता है. Second, participles. Definition is given there. A participle is a verbal that is used as an adjective and most often ends in ing or ed. Verb plus ing is equal to present participle, or we can say the fourth form of main verb, and past participle or third form of main verb, or we can say the MV3. Okay, the third form of verb. Participles mostly used in the continuous tense and present tense. This is one more notification for you. Example is given there. She dived into the swimming pool. Second example, the police recovered the stolen jewels. Swimming is present participle and stolen is past participle. So participles कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करना है? देखो, जो participles होते हैं वो प्रेजेंट पार्टिसिपल और पास्ट पार्टिसिपल इस तरह के होते हैं. तो प्रेजेंट पार्टिसिपल कैसे? जो आईएनजी फॉर्म वाला वर्ब होता है उसे प्रेजेंट पार्टिसिपल कहते हैं, और जो थर्ड फॉर्म वाला मेन वर्ब होता है उसे पास्ट पार्टिसिपल कहा जाता है. तो आप सेंटेंस में देख सकते हैं कि स्विमिंग पूल, यहाँ पे स्विम को आईएनजी लगा के फिर उसे एज एज एन एडजेक्टिव वहां पे यूज किया है, तो उसे हम क्या कहेंगे? पार्टिसिपल्स कहेंगे. और सेकंड सेंटेंस में द स्टोलन, दिस वर्ड इज यूज्ड देयर. स्टोलन, दिस इज द थर्ड फॉर्म ऑफ स्टील, चोरी करना, उसका थर्ड फॉर्म स्टोलन है. तो ये भी क्या हुआ? पास्ट पार्टिसिपल हुआ. तो पार्टिसिपल को याद रखने का सिंपल तरीका क्या है कि ये MV4 फॉर्म में आते हैं या आईएनजी फॉर्म में आते हैं, और दूसरा कौन सा है? ये थर्ड फॉर्म ऑफ मेन वर्ब होते हैं, तो इन्हें क्या कहा जाता है? पार्टिसिपल्स कहा जाता है, और ये सेंटेंस में एन एडजेक्टिव जैसे काम किया करते हैं. ओके, सो gerund. Definition is given there. A gerund is a verbal that ends in ing and function as a noun as the subject or object. For example, I love swimming. Second, reading is a good habit, and swimming and reading, these underlined words are gerunds. So तो यहाँ पे एक आपको कंफ्यूज हो सकता है कि पार्टिसिपल में भी आईएनजी आता है, जरंड में भी आईएनजी आता है, तो ये कंफ्यूजन कैसे दूर करें? तो सिंपल चीज याद रखना है, जब हम जरंड की बात करते हैं तो gerund के जो ing फॉर्म वाले वर्ड्स होते हैं वो हमेशा सब्जेक्ट या ऑब्जेक्ट की प्लेस पे आते हैं और हमेशा एज अ नाउन ही काम किया करते हैं। जैसे कि सेंटेंस देखो, आई लव स्विमिंग, स्विमिंग ये ऑब्जेक्ट की प्लेस पे आया वाला वर्ड्स है तो इसलिए उसे जरंड कहा जाएगा। आईएनजी है तो भी यहाँ पे वो क्या करता है, एज अ नाउन काम करता है। सेकंड देखो, रीडिंग इज गुड हैबिट, जो रीडिंग वर्ड है रीडिंग सब्जेक्ट की प्लेस पे आया है उसके लिए वो जरंड है। तो इसे आइडेंटिफाई करने का एक सिंपल तरीका है, जरंड ज्यादा से ज्यादा ऑब्जेक्ट या सब्जेक्ट की प्लेस पे आता है और एज अ नाउन काम करता है। ये दोनों में मेन डिफरेंस है। नेक्स्ट, say whether the underlined are infinitives, participle, present or past or gerunds. Okay. Uh, Number one, I wish to go to Egypt. To go is infinitive. They liked his written story. Written, this is past participle or we can say participle. He is trying to finish a story. To finish, it is infinitive. Suffering is a stranger than anything. Suffering, this is gerund because that word come at the place of subject. The dying swallow fell at his feet. Dying, this is participle or we can say present participle because the dying swallow. Okay, dying, this word is working as an adjective for swallow. That's why it becomes participle and ing also use it there. Number six, he began to cry. To cry, this is infinitive. And last one is there, he watched the working seaman. Working seaman, okay. Working, this is a participle, we can say the present participle, okay. Next, number five activities there. Write the following dialogues from the story in the indirect speech. Number A, who are you? Asked the bird. I am the happy prince. Then why are you crying? I am wet with your tears. Answer, the swallow asked the happy prince who he was. When he replied, the bird asked why he was crying if he was the happy prince and added that he, the bird, was wet with his tears. B, the happy prince looked very sad and the little swallow was sorry for him. It was very cold here, he said, but I will stay with you for one night. Tomorrow I will take the jewel. Thank you, little bird, said the prince. Answer is given there. The happy prince looked very sad and the little swallow was sorry for him. He said that though it was very cold there, he would stay with the prince for one more night. He would take the jewel the next day. The prince then thanked the little bird. Number C. Little bird, said the prince, please, will you stay with me for one more night? My friends are waiting for me, answered the bird. Answer, the prince pleaded with the little bird to stay with him for one more night. The bird replied that his friends were waiting for him. Next, number D. Under a bridge, two little boys were lying close together to keep warm. We are so hungry, they said. You cannot lie there, shouted a guard. Answer, under a bridge, two little boys were lying close together to keep warm. They sadly remarked that they were very hungry. A guard shouted at them and told them that they could not lie there. E. Goodbye, dear prince, he said. I am glad that you are going to Egypt, said the prince. You have stayed too long. I am not going to Egypt, said the swallow. I am going to the house of God. Answer is given there. When the swallow did goodbye to prince, the prince replied that he was happy that the swallow was going to Egypt and that he had stayed too long there. Upon which the swallow replied that he was not going to Egypt but going to house of God. Next, okay, activity number 7. If you could change the end of the story, That is, after the Shallow refused to fly to Egypt, how would you change it? Summarize your idea in 10 to 12 lines. Answer: summary of the idea. Title: Fruit of Good Deed. The happy prince told Shallow to go Egypt, but he refuses because he knows very well the happy prince was not able to see. The How can he leave the prince alone there? He know that now they are good friends also. The Shallow was impressed by Prince's sacrifice. So Shallow was fighting with the cold. God sees all things, what the happy prince had done for the poor people and what the Shallow also done. After that, God came to them and gave a blessing to both. The happy prince once again became a golden statue, and Salo got more feathers to protect himself from the cold. And now they are living together and every day helping to the poor people. The happy prince and the shallow bird thanked to God for such blessing. The happy prince and the shallow got the fruit of good deed in blessing. Next, number 8 activity. Think of one of your favorite stories. Fill in the following facts about the story. Name of the story, 3 questions, written by Leo Tolstoy. Type of story, parable, it means moral story. Setting, in bracket, time and place. After 1850 in Russia. Important characters, hermit, king and bearded man. Theme or plot. The theme of the story is about the time of action, important people and important job. Conflict or dilemma. The bearded man was waiting to kill the king because king had killed his brother. Solution. When king was at the hut of hermit at that time, king soldiers attacked to bearded man. King did not know the man, but lastly he saved his life. End. The end of the story is happy ending because king got the answer of questions from hermit and the enemy also became his friends. So thank you guys for watching my video. Once again I request you to like, share and subscribe my channel and get the notification of upcoming videos related to your syllabus. अगर आपको मेरी वीडियो अच्छी लगती है तो प्लीज़ मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें, लाइक करें और शेयर करें। और इस और एक बार आपको बताना चाहता हूँ कि इसकी जो वार्मिंग एक्टिविटी है, वार्मिंग एक्टिविटी की जो भी क्वेश्चन और आंसर्स है वो पूरे एक दूसरे वीडियो में है जिसकी लिंक मैं आपको कमेंट बॉक्स में भेजता हूँ। ओके, थैंक यू।